You know, we could have had this in the most recent Pokemon Presents, but no! Let's just have it accidentally revealed on the Italian channel, and then actually release it a couple days later. But if you close your eyes... Anyway, what is going on? I am here with my first ever Pokemon TCGP or Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket video. Woo! Let's go! Finally, one of these videos. Let's go! Now, for this video, I want to discuss and react, except I already saw this multiple times, but I want to react to this trailer for the new A4 set, which is called Wisdom of Sea and Sky. Sounds, I don't know. it just sounds cool. I don't know. Anyway, this set is coming out July 30th, and I will also talk about the cards that have been revealed so far via the trailer, as well as some ads that were released after said trailer, separate ads. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, here's our trailer. Let's just get started. Here you go. There it is. Wisdom, Sea and Sky, Ho and Lugia. There's Ho-Oh EX, all colorless. And then we have Lugia. 3 different energies. I think it's our first non-dragon type to use multiple energies. Anyway, 3 Johto starters. We got some baby Pokemon, no energy costs. Got shiny Gyarados, more evolutions. Got more trainer cards, of course. But yes, it'll be available July 30th. Woo! Alright, we got a lot of cards to go through real quick, so we're just gonna go in order here. I kind of want to go with this one first, actually, and you'll see why in just a second. So I lied, we're actually not gonna go quite in order, but we got Ho EX. It is a basic 150 HP. It's fire type, obviously, and this is our first fire type EX that only uses colorless energy. There have been some EXs, like, well, the only one I could think of is Alolan Raichu that has 3 colorless, even though it's an electric type. But anyway, it has 3 colorless for Phoenix Turbo, which does 80, which I know probably doesn't sound like a lot for 3 energy. But anyway, you take a fire, water, and electric energy from your energy zone and attach them to your bench basic Pokemon in any way you like. So initially people thought this could have been good for Ho-Oh with Dragonite EX. I mean, it could work if you were going to do it to Dratini, like you had Dratini on the bench, but like it would take too long to set up, so I'm not quite sure how that would work out. So, but anyway, I mentioned that these two probably work together because we have Lugia EX, which is 150 HP, also basic, colorless, as typical with Lugia in the Pokemon Trading Card Game, like any card. It requires a fire, water, and electric energy for elemental blasts that will do 180, and that's where you discard a fire, water, and electric energy from this Pokemon. So yeah, you have Ho-Oh that attacks and sets up Lugia to do more damage later on. As of right now, I don't quite know how that would work out though. Like, I'm trying to think of what other cards you would need, because you can't just wait like 3 turns to set up Ho-Oh, because that could just take way too long and you would just be kind of screwed, right? And heaven forbid you're going up against an Oricorio user, because I believe, yeah, they're both weak to electric. So yeah, Oricorio users, all of y'all are gonna love finding these decks. But again, there might be some other Pokemon that might come into play. I'm not too sure. We'll have to see. I mean, granted, just because a Pokemon is the booster pack art doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be like hardcore meta for eternity. I mean, how many Dialga decks, for example, are you seeing? How many Genetic Apex Pikachu decks are you seeing, right? The 3 starters here, we got, you know, Chikorita. They all do 20 damage, for 1 energy, you know, nothing really too crazy about those, you know, just very equal. But let's get into the babies, the baby Pokemon. We got Pichu, does 30, or it has 30 HP, and for no energy, it could do Crackly Toss, where you can take a light energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your benched basic Pokemon. I don't know, it seems like an interesting idea because if you aren't familiar with how Pokemon trading card game Pocket works, maybe if you haven't played it before, maybe it's been a while, or maybe you're from the regular Pokemon trading card game and you want to maybe dabble into this. On your first turn, you cannot attach energy, which is different from TCG Live, because TCG Live, you can attach energy, you just can't play supporter cards, I believe, if you go first. Whereas in TCG Pocket, I believe you can play a supporter card. You can't attach energy. The only time you could attack on your first turn was if you had a water Pokemon, but you could play Misty and get lucky, and then you can attack. That happened like once or twice before, and I felt kind of bad, but I also thought it was kind of funny that I just won automatically. But anyway, so with Pichu, you technically can attack right away. And I don't know if Pichu is gonna necessarily pair with like Ho-Oh and Lugia. I do think it can, however, pair up with Zorora because it has the Thunder Clap ability, or what is it called? I'm blanking. Wow, I'm blanking. But it has that ability where it gets a free electric energy after the first turn. I think it's just another way to accelerate attaching energy quickly. That's kind of part of the identity with lightning electric decks. So I think it could be interesting. The thing is that it is 30 HP. It is really frail and fragile. Like, I mean, an EVEX can knock this out in one hit, unless you put a cape on it. But, you know, I mean, heaven forbid I guess a Guzma, if they use Guzma, I guess, or something like that. But maybe once we see more cards, we can have an idea of like how we could use these baby Pokemon, but like, I'm not too sure. But anyway, we have Cleffa, again, 30 HP. By the way, they have no retreat cost. This one and Pichu, and no weakness either. It has the move Twinkly Call, also no energy to attack, obviously. And it says, put a random Pokemon from your deck into your hand. It's an alternative to, oh gosh, I'm already blanking on the Pokemon's name. Wow, my brain's just not working. Basically, it's an alternative to that Pokemon because it's an ability, not an attack. But you don't have to evolve it, so I mean that kind of helps. So anyway, we got the shiny Gyarados here, so it's pretty sick. It has, for 2 water energies, the attack Wild Swing for 20 plus. It says you may discard. I guess I should move here. That actually makes sense, so I can block ads. I don't know why I didn't do that to begin with. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so it says you may discard any number of your bench water Pokemon. This attack does 40 more damage for each bench Pokemon you discarded in this way. I think it's an interesting move because you're not attacking for too much damage, but it is only 2 water energy, and this clearly is a counter to Cyrus, especially because Cyrus, ever since it got released, is very common to use, especially in the pros or like the competitive scene. So this is kind of just put in there as like an alternative, because if you have a Pokemon that's like really low and gonna die, you can just discard it, especially if it's an EX Pokemon, right? You can discard it so that way your opponent doesn't get a free 2 points. So I think it could be interesting. So I'm not gonna call most of these Pokemon right off the bat like, oh, this is gonna be meta defining or whatever. Well, except for this one. We have Umbreon EX. It's stage 1. It has the ability Dark Chase, where it says once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active, you may switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has damage on it. So the ability is literally Cyrus. That's literally what it is. And then it can attack for 80 with 2 dark energy. I am very certain that we're gonna see a lot of Umbreon with this upcoming meta. I would imagine. I would think so. Now, who would partner with Umbreon? That's that's to be decided. I mean, I would imagine it probably, it could be like Darkrai. Like Darkrai, ever since it got introduced, it's always been in the meta at some point in some way, shape, or form. It gets used a good amount. So, I mean, I could also see it work with Greninja, obviously, because Greninja with that Shuriken ability, whatever it's called, because it could just do 20 on any Pokemon, and then Umbreon can then just pull it and then do 80. Yeah, I think we're gonna see Umbreon a lot. So if you're an Umbreon hater, I'm not an Umbreon hater, but I will say that ability will be kind of annoying, and I might start to hate it a bit. But anyway, let's get to Espeon. It has the ability Psychic Healing, where once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this said 20 initially, and I thought other people saw 20, but I don't know. I guess some angles, a 2 and a 3 might look a little too similar, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's a little bit better that it can heal 30. It also can attack for 80 with 2 energy, but in this case 2 psychic. It has a 1 retreat cost, so it's a little bit better retreat cost-wise than Umbreon. I mean, I think it can be nice. It's essentially like a Pokemon Centerly. That's its ability without the ability to heal the special conditions, but you could just heal for 30, which is nice. I think it's fine, but there's also just a lot of other powerful psychic mons, right? Let's get into what I think will be very interesting, the trainer cards. So we have Lyra here. It says switch your active Pokemon that has damage on it with one of your bench Pokemon. Yeah, I think this is really huge, especially because you have some Pokemon that have 3 or 4 retreat costs, right? But with Lyra, you can put this in even if your Pokemon have pretty high retreat costs. So I do think it's pretty nice. I don't know how often it would be used, but I think it could come in clutch, or at least it could be a good option. Your opponent reveals their hand. Choose a supporter card you find there and shuffle it into your opponent's stack. I think this could be useful maybe, because I feel like there's been a lot of situations where I'm like, oh, I already know they have Lusamine, or I already know that they might have like Cyrus or Mars or whatever, especially if, you know, because we are in this meta where Sylveon probably will be thrown into a lot of decks, so it is kind of a way to counter all this drawing rapid meta that we're kind of going through right now. So I don't think this is a terrible card, and I mean, let's face it, nothing could be worse, I feel like, than Looker. Let's get into the one tool that we saw, the Rescue Scarf. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put it into your hand instead of the discard pile. I think this is decent. My issue, my qualm, I guess, with this is that all this kind of, like, I'm not gonna say all this does, but like, immediately I'm thinking like, okay, people are gonna keep wanting to use Darkrai or Greninja or maybe poison moves or something like that, like more often, right? Because that is a way to kind of bypass, say, the Electric Cord. Like, because Electric Cord, your Pokemon has to be knocked out from an attack, but if it gets knocked out from something else, then the effect of Electric Cord doesn't work. I don't know how useful or how common this tool will be used. We have Elemental Switch. It says move a fire, water, or electric energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active. So this is now an item version of Dawn. I think that this is going to be really important to have, especially if you have some deck that's running one of these 3 types. All right, we have this card. I like this artwork personally. But anyway, Togepi. It's a basic 60 HP. Interesting that it's not like the other baby Pokemon where it would be 30. And interesting. But anyway, it has for 1 energy the attack Charm, where during your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon do negative 20 damage. Okay. I mean, it's cool art, but I don't know if I would use this, like, competitively. I'm not too sure. And now we're gonna get, by the way, with Togepi and so on, we're gonna have some cards that were featured in different ads and stuff like that that were not in the trailer specifically. So we have Swanna, who looks like it could be actually useful. I think Swanna from, what was it, Genetic Apex, I believe, was like pretty, like, I'm sorry, just trash. Like, just not good. But for 2 colorless, Feathery Cyclone for 60, move all energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched, and no retreat costs. This is a weird combination. It's like, are they trying to get us to use Pichu, then Swanna, then Ho-Oh, then Lugia? It seems like a lot of Pokemon in one deck. Like, my brain already kind of hurts, and I don't know how consistent that's going to be, so I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, it's interesting that you can just, it has no retreat costs, and you don't discard the energy, you just move it to one of your bench. We have Ampharos. It's a stage 2, obviously. It has the move Thunder Punch for 2 energy for 80, so not bad, like base damage, you know, standard. The attack is you flip a coin, if heads, this attack does 40 more damage, so 120 for 2 energy, that's pretty good. I mean, we're talking Solgaleo now, you know what I'm saying? But if tails, it does 22 itself. So, I'm not a huge fan of this kind of style of attack that some electric mons have. I mean, Rare Candies does help. So I don't know, maybe it might be an okay mon. Anyway, Vulpix, it has 2 energy, a fire and a colorless for 30 damage, 60 HP. Not great for 2 energy. I don't know if I would use this. I would just use a different Vulpix, probably. I don't think that's that good, so I don't know. Anyway, we have a stage 2, another stage 2, Porygon Z. With 2 colorless, it has Slowing Beam for 70. During your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon costs 1 more. I don't know about this one though, because I feel like you're better off just using Stoutland. So I don't know why you would use this. And we have some other cards that are kind of hard to read, so I'm honestly not going to bother really. Well, I mean, I can kind of read this one. It's another baby Magby with 30. Toasty Toss, I think, if I'm reading that correctly. Oh, it says it right here. I'm stupid. Never mind. Take a fire energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your bench basic. Okay, so kind of like Pichu. Okay, this one, Heatmore. Burning Heat, it's a basic. If your opponent's active Pokemon is burned, this attack does blank more damage. I'm hoping that's 60 though. Oh, okay, we have Zubat, basic 50. For 10 damage for 1 dark, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. So I believe this is literally like Paldean Wooper. I think, like same energy cost, same damage, same HP, all that. So that's cool. We got a Ladybug here. For 1 grass, says 20. Okay, so literally like the starters as well. So yeah, nothing special here. Wooper has more HP, 70. Water and a colorless for 30. Not too great. Okay, then we have some others. We have Porygon 2, Buggy Evolution. Whenever you attach an energy from your energy zone to this Pokemon, put a random card from your deck that evolves from ... this Pokemon onto this Pokemon to evolve it. Well, it's a stage 1, right? So, random card that evolves. So I would imagine you'll draw one of these Porygon Z's, I would imagine. Ambipom, for 1 energy, you do 40. That one's not gonna be useful, unfortunately. Okay, we have Dunsparce, basic 50 HP, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed for 20. Okay, it's fine, I guess. I don't have much to say with that one. It's whatever. And then we do have this cool full art for Chikorita. Yeah, those are all the cards we know so far as I'm recording this on, it's a little bit past midnight on the 26th. I will say I have, I guess, a wish list, if you will. Some Pokemon that I would like to see for EXs specifically. So we already have Lugia, we already have Ho-Oh, and then we already have Umbreon and Espeon, right? I want you to comment down below what Pokemon are you wanting to see for EXs. I'm gonna give my personal wish list. I always like seeing the starter EXs. I am hoping that all 3 of them get an EX. I mentioned Ampharos earlier. I'm hoping Ampharos gets one, obviously. So those 4. And I'm not gonna lie, I've always loved Wooper and Quagsire. We already have Clodsire, so we might as well have Quagsire. Now my 6th one is not great in the sense of we already have 2 water and I already won Kingdra as the 6th. So 3 out of the 6 would hypothetically be a water EXs because I don't think they would make Kingdra a dragon type even though it is one in the game. That's my personal wish list. Yeah, I think that is going to be the end. I've been yapping and talking for so long. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and be sure to comment down below. What are your thoughts on the cards we have so far, and what is your personal wish list for the next EX cards we have in this upcoming set? Let me know down below, I'm curious. Don't forget to share this video as well. And don't forget to click the subscribe button down below and be sure to click the little notification bell next to the subscribe button so that we can get notified every time I post a new video. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media links down below. And if you want to check my channel or go subscribe in another way, you can click somewhere in the middle right here. All of my future Pokemon trading card game pocket related videos will be over here, and all of my TikToks, aka YouTube shorts, will be right here. And that's going to be the end of this video, and I will see you all later. Goodbye!